Thumbnail.
Hey, it is. We are live.
We are live?
Hello, we are live. So I can do some sharing stuff. You will notice. This is a streaming exclusive before we get on the air. That it's just me and Cameron today. So you may notice that because that's what it is. All right, where in the world
Welcome to an intimate rainy session.
where's the thing? Where's the thing?
I don't know.
We're really professional here.
Well, you're the professional
Let's
one.
don't know where the thing is.
I'm just some guy from the street.
Excuse me. Where's the thing? Tell you where the thing is. He'll be like phase 6. That's where the thing is.
Ah, yes, that is where he is.
All right, this is
Also, I got rid of the thing last year during Christmas. Lost so many elves.
there it is, right there. Let me share that there thing. Sorry, my turrets are going off. Let me share that thing on.
You know what?
page.
If we make it to Christmas, I'll get to be Pappy Claus in studio.
You will, unless there's something else that happens.
Yeah,
I mean,
because
talking
anything
about,
could happen at this point.
another outbreak or something.
Yeah.
Which could happen, and hopefully it will not. 'cause,
Yes,
we're all right.
they could keep all that to themselves.
Yes. All right, so we're gonna have a fun show. It's me and the boy over there. And
Hi, I'm the boy.
he would be the boy.
Am I the boy or da boy?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Whichever one you want to be.
The boy. By the way, I just want to tell you, I did the Pappy voice in the car with Silver.
Remember,
Hello?
we are live on the air.
I know.
Okay.
And
Sure, you know.
I'm not going to say anything bad.
You wouldn't say anything bad anyway.
Yeah.
I mean,
Nothing personal. But Silver just goes, Uncle Cameron, are you Santa? It's like, oh, no.
It's a smart girl right there.
It's like, no, I'm not. That's not how Santa sounds.
By the way, it was raining pretty hard earlier, so
Hmm.
be careful out there.
Cats, dogs, men. It was raining.
Hallelujah. I don't know.
I wouldn't expect you to say hallelujah to that.
Well, I mean, I was just completing the lyric is what I was doing.
Yeah.
So
Let's just do spoken word songs the entire.
I gotta
the
remember how to
entire
do this
2
thing.
hours.
because I ain't done this thing in this room in a couple months.
Hmm. Do you know how to run your own show?
I don't know. Do I?
You
Do
gotta-
I know how to do everything? Yes, I know how to do everything. But knowing how to do everything and actually being able to do everything, not always the case.
Yeah, but knowing's half the battle.
Yo, Joe, here's the question. Will I have to noob myself tonight?
I feel like you're gonna have to noob me.
That's a given.
How dare you? I'm the least noobed person on this show.
I don't know. Should I be exempt from noobery because I'm doing everything?
No.
Don't know the power of the dark side. It's the Upstate Pulse on 106.3 WORD. Brought to you by Borderlands Comics and Games.
Welcome into the Upstate Pulse. My name is Lonzo, and it's still beautiful, people. Listen, I know it's raining, and by the way, make sure you're careful out there because the rain is it's quite heavy at times, and it's going to be. We are getting, from what I understand, the storm system that moved through Kentucky, and I think it's pretty obvious where the flooding came from because we got quite a bit standing water out there, and so wherever you're going, just take your time. And you know what? While you're taking your time, let us entertain you because that's what we want to do for the next 2 hours. We want to make you forget about all that stuff that's going on. You don't want to forget about the road, man. Pay attention to the road, pay attention to the raid, but to the rain rather. And if you're about to go on a raid, you should probably pay attention to that too, because you don't want to go, Cameron. You don't want to go into a raid without being aware.
Well, at least you need to yell Leroy Jenkins before you do it.
Yeah, you do that. Unless you don't want to warn the people that are the other army that you're raiding, because
Look,
chances are you're listening to the show while playing a video game, and that's the raid we're talking about. Unless you're a member of SWAT, and then you probably should be quiet anyway.
Yes, that you should be quiet on.
And probably shouldn't be listening to the show when you're getting ready to do an actual raid. You probably should not.
There's some cartel members like, is that the Upstate Pulse?
Yes. Yeah. Wait a minute. Are we bonding? Well, you could over the Upstate Pulse. You absolutely could.
That's where we get all of our weird cocaine ideas. Because we do go over those stories with like the oddly shaped.
Yeah, dude.
What?
I'm
sorry, I really hit this early, didn't I?
You did. You did. Speaking of being noobed, I don't think you can noob someone for a bad take, but if that were so, some people would like to noob me. Like
we have so many stories that we've talked about of like the weird way, like our oops and all that stuff. Of I'm referencing the show.
Okay, all right. So you actually listen to the show. That's a good thing.
Yes, I actually pay attention to what we talked about.
Speaking of listening to the show, thank you for listening to the show. If this is your first time listening to the show, when you're at work and the boss ain't watching, or maybe you're on break, but maybe you have no friends, or your friends are just busy and you can't go out with them, so to lunch or something. So what you do is you just start clicking on things like child star grown up. What do they look like now? Or chupacabra spotted in Lawrence County, which I think got into my trash like 2 nights ago. I don't think it was possums. I don't think it was raccoons. I think it was chupacabras because there were tracks.
Maybe it was Sasquatch because he got tired of us talking about him.
It could be. I haven't seen any squatching hats around there, but it could be. So all those things you click on, that's what we do here. We talk about social media. We talk about pop culture. We talk about movies. We talk about streaming. We talk about wrestling. By the way, speaking of wrestling, we're going to be talking a lot of wrestling in the first hour because WWE Summerslam happens tonight. We also have an interview that I was able to partake in with my friend and your friend, Rob Brown from The Rob Brown Show. I've got an interview with Lacey Evans, which surprised us. We were not ready for it. We were supposed to get Paul Heyman, but Paul Heyman was called into an emergency meeting. And so then suddenly I get a phone call and it's, hi, this is WWE calling. We have Lacey Evans on the line. It's like, hold on. We'll get you right on. Our break is almost over. And it's like, dude, did you know we're getting Lacey Evans? Well, maybe. Okay. We got Lacey Evans. So we're going to replay that interview, which is pretty good, especially the ending. I love the ending. It was excellent. We were not, when I say you're not prepared, we were not, well, I'll explain a little bit more. In the sometime in this hour, we're going to play that. We're also going to be talking some video games. I've watched the entire first season of Resident Evil. Don't know if we're going to get to a second season or not. I want to break that down a little bit. Got some weird stories. There's an AI takeover. We're going to be talking about gaming and mental health in hour number 2 and why we game. And does it help us or does it hurt us? Also, in the Nerd Roundtable, we're going to talk about the Wakanda Forever trailer, and we're going to talk about Batfleck. He may be back. We're going to talk about that. And what does that mean? Does that mean the Snyderverse is coming back? I don't know. All right. So if you want to be a part of the show, text line 71307. Also, we are live on Facebook at 1063 WORD, the Upstate Pulse on Facebook. Also, my personal Facebook. And we are live on YouTube at the Upstate Pulse and on Twitch at the Upstate Pulse. And you can comment on those and they will show up in front of me. Hopefully some of them will. And we will talk about that. And again, text line 71307. So we will try to get to all your texts. We'll get to all your messages. If you want to see how the show is done and you've never watched, we are the OG when it comes to streaming in the building. The first ones to do it. Other people have done it too.
The pioneers, you might
say. But we did this as railing against authority, and then it just took off. That's just how it works. Yeah, trendsetters not always doing it to trend, sometimes doing it to troll, and then it works. It does. So that's what we are doing. Yeah, Chris, by the way, says the original duo is back. Thanks, Chris. Also, Trey says, where's the Knights of the Roundtable? Okay, I'm glad you
The
asked.
bunny got them.
So let me talk a little bit about the show. We know about the old guys and how we started the show, and then all that was taken away. Some due to COVID, some due to people moving on, some to people moving down the hallway. So we had to rebuild. And I've thanked him before. I want to thank Cameron again for coming in and saving me, being my knight and being there for me. And he does this for free, even though he gets a free meal out of it, which is kind of like,
I
not
have
working for free.
like the college kids payment
But he
of pizza.
Yeah, you do. He also gets the notoriety that goes with it. And there's some notoriety. There's some being recognized. There's a little bit of that. Getting a little nerd cred, street cred, whatever you want to call it. So T2 Tim Snow not here tonight because he wanted to go on a last minute vacation with his family. And this is a guy who steps up and is always here for me whenever I need him, whenever I need someone to come in and help. That's the dude who does it. So it's like, yeah, man, go ahead. And Owen had to come in this morning to do a special on the Fan Upstate, our brother station. And because of gas prices, he has to drive a good ways. It's like, don't worry about it. We're good. And Cameron didn't have to drive because he rode with me. So that's where they are. And Matthew came on one time and then he just kept coming, which is fine because Matthew is a great fit. And if he's listening, I just want him to know he is a great fit. And his sarcasm is a surprise and it's welcome because
It very much is.
because I appreciate the sarcasm. So I think he had a thing going on too. So he couldn't be here tonight, but Cameron could be here and I'm here and we're going to have fun.
Because I have no things. This is my thing.
Well, and I appreciate this being your thing because some people have things, some people don't have things. And if this is your thing, I appreciate you. We appreciate you. We appreciate you for being on the text line, for being on Facebook. Speaking of the text line, should I read it like Tim or should I just read it? I don't know.
Well, if you read it like Tim, then you wouldn't really be reading it.
Well, yeah, he does. I mean, he tries. He tries really hard. All right. Texter says, hey, guys, shout out to Kid Flaccid. AEW bringing in 6-man tag titles. That's a great opportunity for a lot of young wrestlers. True. Or it's just going to be for the Young Bucks and Hangman Adam Page. We'll see. I mean, more than likely, it's going to be the Best Friends, which would be a good time. There are a lot of factions that only have 3 guys in it. House of Black also only has 3 guys in it. So that's a possibility there too. Looking forward to see it. Yeah, but it's growing. Texture says, evening guys, eager to hear your thoughts on the announcements from San Diego Comic-Con about the upcoming MCU plans. Phase 5 and 6, the YouTubers follow are of mixed opinions. So says Scott. Or we talked about this some last week because because a lot of the major announcements happened on Saturday. There were some that came on Sunday. We're going to talk about this a little bit more, but you have to wait till hour number 2 because we're going to get to that into the Nerd Roundtable. But tonight is WWE SummerSlam, and it starts at 8 o'clock. Now, you can tune away at 8 o'clock. I advise you don't do that because you can watch it on Peacock after this show is over. But we are going to break down our picks, and I also have an interview that we did with Lacey Evans. But first, we are going to take our first break. When we get back, we're going to talk SummerSlam. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to the fact that, I don't know, should Nerf Wall be on the wall on the table? We'll see. I've already got Rob Brown's picks. You get Cameron's picks. I've got my picks. Maybe the people who aren't here are just automatically the losers, and we can get that tiebreaker that we didn't get, that we got robbed of the other day. You're listening to the Upstate Pulse right here on 106.3 WORD, continuing live on the 106.3 Upstate Pulse Facebook pages and the Upstate Pulse YouTube and Twitch page.
I like that idea. Also, you can just see the vindictiveness just rising.
Let's see.
Also, Dad, don't punish me. I'm here.
You're not going to be punished. Let's see. Chris says, Batman. Yes, I'm wearing the Batman shirt.
So does that make me Damien?
I suppose.
I'd be fine with being Damien.
Let's see. Angry Zach says, I have nothing other than nothing other than than work, but I'm off. Good for you. Good to have Saturday night off. Let's see. Mark says, I think Natalya and Sonya Deville interferes in Liv Morgan Ronda Rousey match. It's too soon for Liv to drop the title. And they'll definitely want Ronda to look strong. True. Let's see. Vinnie Mac is gone. Yes, he is. The Triple H era has begun. Already starting to see some small little changes in there as far as verbiage goes. Some things that they weren't allowed to say before, they're starting to say now. Well, let's see. Mark says, I think Dark Order, Best Friends, Factory, Guns, and JAS will all hold the 6-man titles. Elite will take them first. I do think Elite will have them first. I think Best Friends could also be in there. I don't know. Let's see. Zach says, Disney doing the Born Again story from Daredevil. They won't do that story justice. It's too dark for Disney to do properly. You're saying that, Zach, but they just added Logan and they added Deadpool 1 and 2. If you're adding Deadpool 1 and 2, you might
also
do
the
the other
Marvel
stuff.
Zombies thing is going to be TVMA.
Yeah, Marvel Zombies what he said, TVMA. It's a lot of letters. Let's see. Chris says, or Nightwing. No, Cameron couldn't be Nightwing because we're actually related. That's why he went with
Also,
David.
I'm not as much of a ladies' man as he is.
Let's see. Trey says, I think those guys strategically had stuff going on tonight. Now they can avoid making picks and avoid the Nerf wall. Exactly, Trey.
They organized.
Yes, they did.
So Camelot is unprotected. Well, I mean, it's not unprotected.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
here.
see about that. Mark says Raw and SmackDown were noticeably better. AEW also up their game. Yes, they did, because AEW had a couple weeks that were not that good. And I think they're feeling the heat. And they should. I hope it ups everybody. Let's get it all going.
How much time we got left?
A minute. All right. Zach says, I have hope for WWE for first time in a long time with Triple H in charge. His NXT was the best thing that he had on in a long time. Also, reports are Triple H is already starting to make changes in NXT again. NXT was pretty bad for a while, but they started to build some guys up and girls up that are pretty decent. I don't know how soon any of those people make it to the main roster, but they haven't been too bad. I've stuck with NXT, even though a lot of people just turned away when they went to 2.0. I just want to see what they would do. And I think they're starting to make changes there too. And if you watch, Triple H is already doing interviews and talking about a little bit about his vision.
Yeah, Zach, we did mention that when we are going to talk about that Batfleck might be back.
All right, welcome back into the Upstate Pulse. SummerSlam, WWE Summerslam is tonight. It is the first pay-per-view since Triple H took over as head of creative, since Vince McMahon retired. We're already starting to see some subtle changes in Raw and SmackDown. And so what major changes will we see tonight? Now, we have a little bit of some inside that things were changed because Wednesday over on our brother station, The Fan, 97.1 The Fan, Rob Brown and I were supposed to interview Paul Heyman. And I got to tell you, I was nervous about that. I really was. That's one of those guys. And I think it's because, maybe it's an act, but dude seems to be very, very smart. And there's only one guy that we've interviewed that really made me nervous, and that was Dick Vermeil. And because he was a coach for Kansas City Chiefs for a while, and that's my team. And
Were
that
you
just
afraid he was going to cry?
no, I wasn't afraid he was going to cry. Although I have the habit of making people do so. No, I actually asked him some good questions, but I was literally shaking nervous. I was worried about interviewing Paul Heyman, and then I got a text. I think it was late Tuesday night from Rob saying, "Hey, WWE contacted us. We can't have Paul Heyman because there was an emergency meeting about SummerSlam." And
So I have a question about this because you
Okay.
mentioned this a few times.
okay,
Do you think that they told you guys that on purpose?
Hmm?
Not just being courteous and stuff, but do you think that they told you guys because you're media and that you'd spread that around a little bit?
that is that's not something that I thought of. It could be, but I don't think that's what it is. I don't think that there's an ulterior motive when
Not
it comes to
everything's a
that.
work.
Not every well, some things are works. A lot of things are works. I don't think this is though, because later on we found out that suddenly someone is not going to face Riddle, and talking about Seth Rollins. Suddenly he's not facing Riddle like he was supposed to at the pay-per-view. There are rumors out there that Seth Rollins was going to replace Brock Lesnar if Brock Lesnar did not come back. But I still think, by the way, I also think that whole thing about Brock leaving was a work. I believe that Triple H did that. Now, that's just me. And a text line 71307 or get us on Facebook page at the Upstate Pulse or 1063 WORD. I think Triple H did that. I think because that crowd was genuinely surprised a week ago when Brock Lesnar was there. And people, when a lot of the serious wrestling fans, when they are at an event, they still got their phones and they're still noticing things and believing when things are breaking that, okay, someone's not coming when they're supposed to. And then there he was. So I think it's a way to get people to view, oh man, what are they going to do? Brock Lesnar's not supposed to be there. So someone who doesn't normally watch SmackDown live on Friday night decided to watch to see if that happened. And he showed up again last night too.
It would be it's a smart thing to play the media a bit.
I would. I absolutely would, because everyone's in such a hurry to be the first one to report something that you can plant stuff. You absolutely can. And in case you didn't know, wrestling's not real. So you can get away with saying, this is going to happen, and it doesn't happen. You know what happened? They just changed the story. They can do that.
Someone just spat out their drink.
Well, there are some people out there who make a living by reporting on wrestling and by being the first to report things. And if they're getting thrown off their game, that hurts them. It definitely does. Zach says on the Facebook page, Triple H trying to bring a version of kayfabe back. Yeah, I think he is. I absolutely think that he is. All right, let us get to the matches on SummerSlam tonight. We're going to do this, then we're going to take a break, then we're going to come back, and I'm going to play the Lacey Evans interview that we recorded this past Wednesday. And it's a pretty good interview, especially if you like kayfabe. Because when you interview a wrestler, you don't know if they're going to be in character or not. This is the first wrestler that I've interviewed that stayed entirely in kayfabe the entire time. And to the point where Rob and I were completely shocked by it. And she did not go out of it either. And I'm not mad about it. It was because it was one of those, man, I'm not really ready for this because I didn't know this was going to happen. Whoa. Okay. All right.
You just kind of sit there and just let it happen.
Yeah, you do. All right, so let's go to this. The first match that we're going to talk about, the Mysterios versus Judgment Day. So the Mysterios, Dominic Mysterio and Rey Mysterio, father-son duo. Sounds familiar. Going up against the Judgment Day of Damian Priest and Finn Balor. I believe that Judgment Day is going to win. It's just a matter of time before Dominic betrays Rey and becomes a part of the Judgment Day, and he needs to. He absolutely needs to. He's kind of stagnant where he is, and Rey has put out there that he would love to wrestle his son. And I mean, maybe back in like I don't know, the Guerreros or something like that, maybe there has been a father wrestle a son, but in my memory, I can't remember it happening. I'm sure it probably happened back in the old days, but nothing recently, at least not in AEW or WWE or Impact or something like that. So I am going with Judgment Day to win this match because of what I said. I think Dominic turns. All right, I will noob myself in a second. I think Dominic turns on the stream didn't hear it, but the radio people did. I think Dominic turns on his dad, and I think that Judgment Day wins. What do you think, Cameron?
I think I'm also going to go with Judgment Day because I know from my little bit of experience that more than likely Damian Priest and Finn Balor are going to get a push, and it would fit really well if uh, Dominic ended up moving and working with Judgment Day to go up against his father.
All right, so Zach is correcting me already. He's right. Vince and Shane fought. I don't count that though.
Yeah,
I don't count that. I mean, I get it. You're right. But I mean, I'm talking about just pure wrestlers, not someone in the
that's
family.
just corporate.
Yeah,
fighting each
yeah.
other.
I mean, and corporate people fight each other all the time. All right, let me go ahead and get this out of the way.
Daggum corpos.
All right, I had to noob myself. Some of you didn't hear it, but I left Fox News up because I'm doing everything. It's not an excuse. It's a reason. All right, the next.
Hi, are you stressed?
No, actually, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
And I got my noob out of the way. So I'll probably do it again next hour, though. All right, the next match is something I'm really looking forward to. Pat McAfee versus Happy Corbin. And in case you didn't know, Pat McAfee and Happy Corbin were they were roommates.
Oh yes, Happy Corbin.
Yes, the Happy Corbin. They were roommates in Indy in the NFL. And Corbin has been on McAfee's show, and they've had some really, really good talks. And Zach, Angry Zach, used to be on the show, used to be on the station, used to be on the scoreboard. Used to be on Friday Night Rap reluctantly, as we all were reluctantly. Is a big time Indianapolis Colts fan and Pat McAfee fan. By the way, Pat McAfee is awesome. He's who we should all aspire to be in this business. Makes a lot of money and takes care of his boys, which is how that should be. You take care of your guys. You absolutely do that. I think he curses too much, but that's just me. All right, so Pat McAfee always wanted to be a wrestler. He's got to do it a couple times, and he's looked really, really good doing it. Going up against a good friend, I think will help him a lot too. Corbin's run-ins with McAfee have been very, very good, including a kick to the head, some things like that. Last night on SmackDown, he bought a ticket and was set behind him and threw popcorn at him and heckled him the entire time. And it was great. It really was good. So I'm looking forward to that match. I'm going to go with Pat McAfee winning the match. Cameron, who you got?
Oh boy. Their fall is on the line, isn't it? Or have you decided?
I'm not even writing yours down. No, those three guys it's the three people who aren't here. Even though I was going to make Tim exempt. No, we're clear.
Okay.
I don't know that Rob Brown's clear though.
I think,
but you and we're clear because we're here.
Because I have to do like the extra calculus in my head of.
I hope you're
how to
listening,
not
Rob
lose.
Brown. I don't think you're clear. Go ahead.
All right, I'll go with Pat McAfee too.
All right. The next match, The Miz versus Logan Paul. And yeah, I know a lot of people don't like Logan Paul, and I get it. But for a while there, he was the most watched guy on YouTube. He did some things that turned some people off. But would you rather have him in boxing or would you rather have him in wrestling? I think he's got a good future with wrestling. He's got a good build for it. He's got the aptitude for it. And I think he's going to be decent at it if he sticks around.
I mean, he was essentially the heel wrestler from Vision Quest. So
yeah, that's true.
I mean, that's kind of what he is. Even though the bad guy, the quote unquote bad guy from Vision Quest wasn't actually, he was just another guy.
No, Shoot was pretty bad. He was.
Was Shoot bad?
Yeah,
I can't quite remember.
I hear you're a bleeder. That's not something a good guy says. I'm just saying.
Moving on.
Yeah.
So
that is something a wrestler says.
That is something a wrestler says. Okay. I'm not going to go into it.
All right. So Miz versus Logan Paul.
I've grown.
I am going with Logan Paul to win this match over the Miz. Cameron, who you got?
I'm going to go with the Miz because I've always liked the Miz.
All right, you know who else is with you? That would be Angry Zach on the stream, going with Miz with Tommaso Ciampa's help because Ciampa is in the Miz's corner. I think that's another guy with Triple H in charge. I think Ciampa gets a little more run other than being Miz's help. All right, the next match, Bobby Lashley versus Theory for the WWE United States title. Lashley's going to win this. Theory has got some other stuff that he's going to get to do later on. He's going to lose this match. No way that he gets the belt back.
Yeah, Theory's going to lose.
All right. The next match, Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey for the WWE SmackDown Women's title. Let's see. We had a comment about this earlier. Cameron, who you got? Liv Morgan or Ronda Rousey? Liv Morgan has the title right now.
Yeah, I'm going to go Ronda.
All right. I'm trying to find a comment. Someone commented earlier, but I remember what they said. I can't find where it is. They're saying that
I could find it real quick.
That Natalia and what's her name?
Sonya Deville.
Sonya Deville are going to come in. Do you see who that is?
That would be Mark Avery on YouTube.
All right. So Mark said that. I think he's right. I think they will.
I just said on the YouTube.
Yeah, on the YouTube. I think he's right that they will come in and do something. But I'm going Ronda Rousey to win.
Really?
Yes.
Huh.
Especially after what you said last night to that kid. But I hope Liv Morgan continues.
What'd she say to the kid?
You have to look it up.
Okay.
Because I don't want to misquote Ronda Rousey because she might find me. She may have lost that fighting spirit, but she could take out an old guy pretty quick, probably. All right, the next match, Bianca Belair, champ, Raw Women's title holder.
My girl Bianca Belair
versus Becky Lynch. And here's the thing, a year ago at this very event, Bianca lost the belt in 26 seconds to Becky Lynch. I can't stand Becky Lynch. And bring your hate, Zach and everybody else. I don't like her characters. I don't like this one. I don't like the man character. I liked her back when she was just a lass. I liked her better then when she was straight fight.
When she was a wee lass.
When she had the with longer hair and everything. The weird outfits now are just not doing anything for me.
Just too much time with Seth, I guess.
So they're trying to outdo each other. They are. And she can't beat Seth at this.
Seth is just insane.
Seth's game is stronger than his wife's when it comes to dress. He's going to be louder. He's going to be crazier as far as fashion goes.
You sound like a deranged old woman. It's kind of hard not to out crazy.
Yeah, that's it, Mark. I forgot. Rhonda said to a kid, "Your mother failed you." I forget. I could again. I didn't want to misquote. And Zach, you're right. I am a hater. Speaking of hating, though, I think Becky Lynch wins the title. All right, Cameron, who you got? Becky Lynch or Bianca? By the way, I love Bianca. I want her to win.
How dare you?
But I think Becky's going to win.
Bianca Belair, all the way.
All right. The next match is the Usos versus the Street Profits with Jeff Jarrett as a special referee. Now, before last night,
when did Jeff Jarrett get there?
Just out of the blue, they decided to make him a referee. I don't know. He's already in the Hall of Fame, I think. I don't know what he's done. Maybe he needs money. The Street Profits are looking strong. They really, really are. They're looking like the best competition for the Usos in a really long time. I'm going to Street Profits to win this. And because of it, Roman Reigns is not going to be happy with them, and it's going to cause some problems later on in the night tonight. Cameron, who you got, Usos or Street Profits?
I got to go with the Street Profits. They're one of my favorite tag teams.
Me too. I want one of them jerseys, man. Not the basketball jerseys. I want the football jerseys.
Seeing them live was awesome. Just seeing them bounce all over the place and
getting to see how the solo cups are actually launched. Because
Yes.
where we were sitting there, they have a launcher. They have a cup launcher. I thought they dropped from silly. No, they got this thing that just, how a t-shirt launcher is? They did, and no, you can't catch these on fire because they'll melt. But and that's the other thing.
You can coat them with something.
But how are they shooting those cups out without them breaking? They can't be actual solo cups, can they? It has to be wind. Something.
Solo cups are not as fragile as you think.
Well, I don't use them very much. All right, so I am going with Street Profits also. All right, and finally, Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar in a last man standing match for the undisputed WWE Universal title. Roman Reigns is going to win this. Theory's had the mess beat out of him every time he shows up by every single person. I think the Usos turn on Roman Reigns because they lose their titles earlier in the day, and Roman beats them up and chastises them. And I think Theory actually wins the title. It also wouldn't shock me if Paul Heyman doesn't have a little bit of something to do with it. But
Paul Heyman becomes his new daddy.
Why not? Roman Reigns wins this match. Who you got?
I'll also go Roman Reigns.
All right, so there you go. And if you have any comments on this, text us 71307 or hit us up on the stream. All kinds of people talking about this stuff on the stream. I said stuff. I don't know what I'm doing.
I wasn't going to say anything.
You
could just let it go.
You know, I don't have someone across from me to correct me because you're sitting to the left of me.
In the corner of your eye, you feel your judgment.
Yeah, no. I can judge myself. I have to correct people all the time. I can correct me. And I'm not
Come on, right? So what's wrong with you?
I'm not noobing myself because I'm parched. You listen to the Upstate Pulse right here on 106.3 WORD.
So he's busy doing stuff because he's doing everything tonight. Also,
some of these some of the spots, the way they're being done now, they show up black instead of colors, and it throws you off. You think you got something in there that you don't, and that's why I didn't play the out.
So, question for you.
For me?
Yes, for you. For the only person in this room besides me.
Talking to them? There's a ton of them.
Well, no, because this is legitimate. Could you turn me on and off?
I did.
Okay, I'm gonna stop reaching for it then.
Yeah.
Because
I got you. You gonna push the wrong thing?
No, I'm short.
Well, there's that.
it's hard for me to reach around. I can't quite get to the buttons. I
you ever want to see a T-Rex trying to push an on button?
Oh, don't say that. That's what my tailor said to me. We were getting fitted. Why were we getting fitted for suits? Tuxedos.
I had to do a fashion show.
That's right. And I had money, so I just decided to blow it on a tuxedo.
It wasn't a tuxedo, it was a suit.
I got to wear it during a wedding.
There you go.
I look sexy too. Black and red, baby, like a villain. Is
that what a villain wears?
That's what I would wear if I'm a villain. I'm slowly becoming one anyway, so might as well just steer into the skid. Is that how you say it?
I don't know. I'm not a villain.
I don't know. For any villains out there, please let me know. Is black and red the villain colors, or is that more of a anti-hero kind of thing? Or is it just a good color combination? Personally, I float between red and black and blue.
All right. My wife is now angry with me for calling Cameron a T-Rex. I will say that we have a comfortable couch, so don't you guys worry about me. My doghouse has HD, yo.
He gets sent there quite often. It has great air conditioning.
All right, Zach says finished Stranger Things 4 last night. Excellent as always. Curious where Max is. I think she's with Vecna. Also, I still think Eddie, while a valiant death, was useless. At the same time, we keep talking about it, but he would have went to jail if he came back. But still, I mean, like, stay alive in the Upside Down. They can't find you there. Ah, Mark agrees. Black and red are usually villain colors.
See?
Who knew?
I did.
Apparently.
Who knows? Not me.
For a local underground paper also.
And what do you like, the star of your school?
They hate me.
Yeah. Well, you'll meet them all again on their long journey to the middle.
It's the Upstate Pulse.
That is by far one of my favorite lines from that movie.
Yeah, it's a good solid.
It is a good solid line. It really is. It really is. All right, you listen to the Upstate Pulse right here, 106.3 WORD, and on the Facebook pages, 106.3 WORD, the Upstate Pulse, also the Upstate Pulse YouTube and Twitch page. If you're at home, trying to find something to do, you're watching the show, why not throw it up on your smart TV? You can watch us on TV. It'll blow your mind, dude. Absolutely. All right, speaking of minds being blown, I need to get to this pretty quick because we still have another break to take. And by the way, we've got a lot of other things to talk about, including video games, Resident Evil, all the stuff that's being discussed on the stream and the text line. We'll also get to text line 71307. And we have an AI takeover if I can handle it, because, I get a little worked up on that kind of thing.
You do.
I do. So on our
I'll have the tranks ready this time.
On our brother station, the Fan Upstate 97.1, the Fan, there's a show called The Rob Brown Show, starring me and a guy named Rob Brown. He's on there too. And we do we talk wrestling a bunch on there too. And we've been able to interview a ton of wrestlers. We were supposed to get Paul Heyman. It didn't work out. And then later that day, I get a phone call from WWE. Whoever thought that I'd be working in a job as a kid when at the time it would have been WWF. I just get a phone call. Hey, this is WWE. Oh, hey.
Hi, WWE.
Lacey Evans is waiting for you. So the voices you're going to hear in this interview are myself and Rob Brown. And here's our interview with Lacey Evans. We were not ready for Lacey Evans.
Next Friday evening, WWE Smackdown will be live right here in Greenville, Bon Secours Wellness Arena. And if we're lucky, we will be joined in person by our next guest, WWE superstar Lacey Evans. Lacey, great to have you. Welcome to the show. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm excited.
You should be. You should be. And we are as well to have you and the rest of the SmackDown roster here. Let's start with this. Obviously, by being a United States Marine, you've got some time spent in South Carolina. You know the Carolinas. As you guys have gotten back on tour, especially after the COVID lockdown, et cetera, when you get back in front of a live audience, what's that feeling like, especially when you've got a connection like you do to the Carolinas?
Oh, it's incredible, man. I will have to say that, Greenville and Spartanburg is not as good as Beaufort, South Carolina. But, I guess I'll be willing to make a trip up there to make sure you guys stand up and cheer for me like I deserve. But no, it's awesome. Being in front of fans and just hearing the excitement, it's action-packed. I mean, you guys can actually hear and feel and see the hard-hitting action that we bring, and it's better. I mean, there's nothing like it.
Lacey Evans, WWE superstar and American icon, joining us here on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate. Lacey, you recently made your return to the ring, but it's been an interesting couple of weeks for us. Can you tell us a little bit about the shift in attitude from Lacey Evans since you've made your return back? Maybe not getting the reception from fans that you want or deserve.
I was about to say that I damn deserve, honey. It's funny. People watch this. They're like, oh, why did she turn bad? Like, what's wrong? Let me tell you what's wrong. I come back after having a child, right? 6 weeks postpartum, working my butt off to get back in the ring to perform for you guys, okay? Picture it, working hard. Only then opening up, telling my life story, every negative, terrible thing that I've been through, in hopes that the audience would listen to it and use it to their advantage, to motivate them, to show them that it doesn't matter where you've been, what you've been through, you can accomplish anything. Only for them to not listen to anything that I said, not wake up extra early, put the work in, and try to be successful. You know what I'm saying? So what was I supposed to do? Huh? I did exactly what I should have done, was not turn my back on them, but expect more from them to an American hero. Am I wrong for that?
No, you're
That's the
absolutely.
question.
Yeah, you're not wrong for
Absolutely
that.
not, man. I'm an American hero. I served my country. They should be off their butt and on their feet cheering for me. I am sick of it. All the work I've done and everything I've done to use this platform to help Americans for what? You can't even answer that. That's the problem, man. So, yeah, I'm going to come to Greenville. I'm going to freaking get in the ring, and I'm going to remind everybody why I'm the prime example, and they should cheer for me. And Lord help them. They better cheer for me. Are you going to be there?
Yeah, I absolutely am going to be there. Lacey, I've seen you. I
hope you're in the front.
I probably will be. You know what? I've seen the women's right connect ever since NXT. Who is the next woman to fill the women's right?
Whatever idiot gets in the ring with me. How about that? I mean, as much as I'd love it to be the champion, because I'm the prime example of what a champion is, you know, I'm sure I got to wait my turn for that too, unlike a lot of the other ones. But that's all right, because I'm from the bottom. I know what it's like to still rock bottom and work my way up. I've done it my whole life, and I'll do it in Greenville. I'll do whatever I have to until I'm champion.
WWE superstar and American hero, Lacey Evans. So talk to me about that. When you climb into a WWE ring, especially after going through what you've gone through to not only make it to the WWE, but then, of course, have a child and then make your return, which most moms will tell you not easy. What are you looking for? Like, what is the goal for Lacey Evans? Is it a championship? Is it the respect from the crowd you feel you deserve? Like, what are you looking for right now?
Every bit of it. You hit the nail on the head when you said the respect and championship, because I've said it and I'll say it again. I am the prime example of what every woman, American, and human being should be. I don't use what I've been through as an excuse. I could name 100 things right now, and I know you don't have the time, that I've been through that should have and could have stopped me and my dreams and my goals. But no, I didn't. I didn't sit there and wallow in my self-pity. I picked myself up year after year, time after time, and I am successful. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, when I get back in the ring every single time, it's with a mindset to not only continue to show the world what they're capable of, but to get the respect that I know I deserve as an entertainer, as a veteran, as an American hero. And when I am champion, that I'll do the same thing then, too.
Lacey Evans.
Title around my waist, because I deserve it, man.
Greenville will be the home of SmackDown Live coming up next Friday evening. Lacey, what can the folks expect from you and from SmackDown at the Bon Secours Wellness Arena next Friday night?
Well, they know what the hell they can expect from me. But as far as WWE in a whole, I mean, hard-hitting action. We are the biggest sports entertainment company in the world. And when I tell you we bring the best sports entertainment, that is, you have to be there to see it. I mean, watching it on live television is great, but if you are actually in the building and you can hear it, it's completely different, man. We bring the entertainment, and it's so much fun, and it's just a night that, you know, you'll always remember. So you got to come out you got to see it to believe it, I guess. It's incredible.
Cannot wait. Next Friday Night SmackDown live at the Bon Secours Wellness Arena in Greenville, South Carolina. WWE superstar and American hero, Lacey Evans. Lacey, it's been a pleasure. I agree with everything you said. You deserve all the respect in the world, and I am hoping the people of Greenville will show it to you next Friday.
Well, they better. And make sure you're in the front and you're off your ass on your feet cheering for me like I deserve. You need to set that example for everybody else to follow. How about that?
Yes, ma'am. Done and done. Thank you very much, Lacey. We will see you next Friday.
You're not welcome. I got things to do.
Fair enough.
And she hung up. So there we go. There we go. Lacey Evans. And yes, she hung up.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. She absolutely hung up. Again, this is the first. I think Lance Archer, when we talked to him, kind of stayed in character. Britt Baker, DMD, was in character, out of character. I've interviewed a ton of wrestlers, Rob and I, and also on Mark Ryan's show. I've interviewed a bunch there. I believe we've interviewed some guys here also on the Upstate Pulse. And that is the first one from bell to bell, as they say, went completely kayfabe the entire time. So there you go. There was the interview with Lacey Evans. We're going to take our final break of the hour. You listen to the Upstate Pulse right here on 106.3 WORD. Continue live on the 106.3 and Upstate Pulse Facebook pages, as well as the Upstate Pulse YouTube and Twitch page. All right, Zach says MJF level of dedication to the character there. Oh, absolutely. Which makes me miss MJF because where are you now, MJF? Maybe we won't see him again until his AEW contract is up and he's in WWE. Who knows? Or maybe they'll like let him buy out his contract. That could happen, couldn't it? I don't know. Let's see. Lacey's not a heel. She's misunderstood, says Mark. Zach says, man, she's great. She was. And if you watch, because we do the Rob Brown show live on Facebook and YouTube also, you can see the looks on our faces when she just went into that. It's just like, okay, because you don't know when you're interviewing a wrestler, you don't know what they're going to do. And the first couple questions are usually filling out to try to see where they're going to go. And that's where she went. It's like, okay. I see what we got to do. And I would have got some more questions in, but we were up against the clock and I was trying to make sure that, everything timed out right. And I do want to apologize sometimes when I get these wrestling interviews, actually for a while now, I haven't played them on the Upstate Pulse and I should. I've gotten away from it because I don't have as many wrestling guys here, but there are wrestling guys watching and I need to do that. Just because the room doesn't get it, I get it. You guys get it. I need to do it more often.
And it's not like we're going to be commenting on it.
I will tell you one thing. I talked about my fear earlier in the show of interviewing Paul Heyman. Rob Brown's going on vacation next week. There's a chance that we still get Paul Heyman. If we do, I'm going to have to lead the interview because Cole Bryson is sitting in and he's not a wrestling guy. And
Paul Heyman, yourself.
It isn't like I haven't led wrestling interviews before. When I was on with Mark Ryan over there, I led all the wrestling interviews because he says he doesn't like wrestling, even though at the time I did more wrestling interviews on that show than any other show. I think we've passed that up now because we've got a pretty good rapport with WWE and AEW to the point where sometimes we get some guys from AEW. Actually, I think we get more guys from AEW than the Rise guys do, and they don't understand why. And that would be because Rob Brown's really good at his job.
He's very good at chatting people
up. He talks to them a lot, and they like him, and because of that, we get a lot of AEW people. And WWE is going to be in town next week. We're going to talk about that a little bit. I know we've went heavy wrestling this hour. We got a ton of other stuff that we're going to get to in the next hour.
Get some nerdy goodness going on.
But and I'm not apologizing for all the wrestling. I'm not. My boss suggested, LexCorp suggested that I bring back the wrestling interviews on this show for exposure and for substance. I still don't know what that means because I still think that means that I don't have substance and this would give me substance, but
You're like a pie with no filling.
Wow.
To quote Geralt.
Wow, that's hurtful, man.
Well, that's what Mark was saying to you, obviously.
Nuh-uh. Welcome back into the Upstate Pulse. Lonzo and Cameron here on a rainy Saturday night. But you know what? It's been kind of dry. We need some rain. Maybe not the amount we just got. And so if you're out on the road, watch this, guys. Be careful as you're driving. Take your time and listen to the Upstate Pulse while you're on your way to where you're going or while you're on your way back from where you went. Or if you're going from here to there, thither and yon.
What about hither? What about hither?
Nah, you don't want to go hither. You can go thither, though.
Yeah.
Thither's a good word. It's a fun word.
Yeah, but isn't it usually paired with hither? I mean,
no.
Hither and thither and yon.
No. It's thither. It's like wheat.
You're killing me.
Thither. It's TH.
A man with your oratory prowess.
All right. So you're saying it's not thither?
It is not thither.
What is it then?
It's thither.
It's thither. It's you look it up.
Tither.
No, it's th.
Yes, but
That's
you
what I'm saying. It's thither.
look, English makes no sense. You make it up as you go.
It's thither. It's
English borrows from all sorts of different
it's not.
languages.
It's not hither.
It's on a case by case basis. It is tither.
All right.
Hither and
All right, back me
and
up,
tither and
text
yon.
line. Back me upstream. It's not hither, tither, and yon. It's hither, thither, and yon. And I'm not saying I need to cut something. Where's my thithers? It's hither, thither, and yon.
Suffer and succotash.
Exactly. It's thither. Thither.
Yes, but you're saying that Sylvester actually speaks correctly.
He does. To him, he does.
Is this just a matter of perspective?
No, thither is how you say it.
It is not thither. It doesn't sound right. It doesn't sound right at all.
Yeah, Zach's. Where's Theater Boy about Chris when you need him? He would settle this immediately. He absolutely would. And there's some other people that are like that as far as making sure that
We need to
words
bring
are done
back
correctly.
the Council of Vernacular.
Well, maybe next week. I'm telling you, it's thither. How am I wrong in saying thither?
You can just be wrong. There's the objective
Dude,
thing of yes or no.
it is
It's no.
It is not silent. It's not silent. The H in thither is not silent. It is thither.
Silent.
It is not. It is not. I cannot believe we're having this argument. I can't.
We are. We will have this argument for another 2 minutes at least.
It's less than that.
Oh, is
actually.
it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we could do that on the stream. But here's what I want Cameron to do as research during the break. I want him to, on his phone, go to the Google pronunciation thing, type in thither, and see what Google says. And whatever it is,
It's not always accurate.
whatever it is, if I'm right, we'll put it on the air. If he's right, we'll put it on the air. I'm going to be right, though. You're listening to the Upstate Pulse right here on 106.3 WRD. In the next hour, we are going to talk Resident Evil. We've got some Wall of Weird stuff, AI Takeover, maybe. We got some video game stuff, Nerd Roundtable, and yeah, we'll talk about some MCU stuff because the text line wants us to. Listen to the Upstate Pulse right here. Thank you for taking us along with you as you go thither and yon. All right, bring it up, man. Bring it up. Let's see what it says. Right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, at least I filled time to break.
Oh, no. Leave that there because you're going to hold that up to the microphone and you're going to play that when we come back. Maybe multiple times. Listen to your ditty. Listen, I'm not. Listen, some people get that. I am not going to be. I'm not going to do some Chris gloating here. You're going to play it. You're going to admit that I was right. And then we're going to move on. You don't even have to admit that I was right. All you got to do is play it. And that's the proof.
You know, I was due one eventually. I can't always be right.
You really thought you were right, didn't you?
I did.
You know, and just in case you're listening, Charlie or Tim,
Here's the thing.
we're not fighting.
No.
This is how these kind of
Here's the
arguments
thing.
go.
Here's the thing. As soon as I said it, I immediately paired it together. It's like, well, I have to double down on this regardless.
Hey, I don't blame you. I was told a long time ago in radio, by Russ Castle, I believe, when you have a take, stick to the take. I mean, you may be proven wrong eventually, but you stick to that take. You fight for that take. And you know why? Because there are a lot of people out there who will back down. They will back down because they don't want to fight. And they'll go, you know what? You're right.
Here's the thing. It's not you, though.
Well, no, because I am a radio professional, an
Here's the
award-winning
thing. Here's the
radio
thing.
professional.
Anybody else in that seat, I'd be able to take him.
I don't know.
But you,
I got to tell you, you don't know this yet. T2, pretty stubborn.
oh no, he's stubborn. But
And you know the OGs. You wouldn't get it past Zach. You wouldn't get it past Patrick. You wouldn't get it past Chris.
here's the thing: there's a way to get around everybody.
It's
It's not to play into their stubbornness; it's to use their stubbornness against them.
Or in this case, Dad, you kind of hurt my feelings. If you do that,
I'm not gonna pull that
if
on
do
you.
that, I'll be like, oh man, I'm sorry.
No, that would have to make me emotionally vulnerable, and I'm not doing that.
There you go. There you
I
go.
have a
That's my
heart-
boy right there.
I have a heart of steel. I go the
exactly
Ohioan
getting that.
way and just push it all down. Tara
Chris-
doesn't know who I am.
Chris
so
said if Cam had his background behind him, he would have been right.
I would have been. I have my wizard library behind
Even
me.
your
I'd
mom,
sound more
your mom
official.
says you're wrong.
We are not an information based radio show. We are an entertainment.
Excuse me, sir. That would imply that we're inaccurate, and we are not. We are opinionated, yes, but we're extremely accurate with things. So there. Hey, would you run real quick and
Grab more drinks.
yes.
Okay.
I mean, got like
Oh,
2
yeah,
minutes.
yeah.
You got 2 minutes, dude. I mean, it's not. This would be the part where, with him out of the room that I would gloat, but I don't need to.
All right, I went thither, now I'm hither.
Thank you for pronouncing it correctly.
Speaking to reporters on the flight back home from the trip to Canada, saying that he hadn't thought about resigning, but adding the door is open, quote unquote. And nothing very wrong.
Chris, I haven't had Tara on in a while. The thing is, other than this week, the bullpen, everything has been filled, and I've been allowed to have a bunch of people on, and because of that, the room is full.
Yes, the roundtable has been
And she would come back on because she and I have been talking about Stranger Things because we've been doing that ever since the beginning of the thing. But Tara she doesn't want to do it on the phone. She wants to actually be in the room. I don't need to dare her to do it. If I ask her to come on, she would come on. Just like
Charlie James, if you ever, get over
yeah,
your
Charlie's
awkwardness.
gonna come on eventually. He came into the we're gonna talk about it. Talk about Charlie a little bit.
Here's the
when
thing:
we
if
come
you
back.
don't, I'm just gonna ask him.
We'll talk about it when we
I'll
come
figure
back.
out a way to ask him.
You still have that ready, right?
I do.
Okay. Wait, you think I'm gonna forget?
No,
I mean, come on.
look.
We've got to settle this.
Look, when one sets up a bit and not spike it, it's a missed opportunity. You don't have to be the butt of every joke. Sometimes I have to be.
Excuse me? I'm not the butt of any joke. I'm the man, yo. And not the man like Becky Lynch, the man like Ric Flair, whose final match is tomorrow, I think.
I hope he lives.
Yeah, me too. Welcome into hour number 2 of the Upstate Pulse. Lonzo and Cameron here on a wonderful Saturday night. Yeah, it's a little rainy, but we're having a blast, having the usual kind of arguments. Debates is what they are. And
A fair amount of semantics going on.
yeah, well, we're going to discuss that in a little more detail in just a second. But first, Cameron has something for you guys to hear.
Thither,
Thank you.
thither.
Thank you.
I immediately knew I was wrong when I said that, but I went with the old radio tradition of not backing down and
Which is-
hoping that the other person would. And then I also realize it's you sitting
Yeah.
across from me. It's like, well, I'm going to go down swinging.
Yeah, I'm not going to back down. And there are times when I've been completely wrong. And when I'm completely wrong, I will still go at you for a long period of time. Although there are times, if it's something significant that I'm wrong about, I will stop and say, you know what? You were right. I was wrong. Unless you're Chris. I'm never doing that with him.
No,
Ever.
you'll never
Ever.
live it down.
Ever. I will never do that for him. All right. Silver says, hi. Happy birthday, Silver. I'm saying happy birthday to the granddaughter who turned 4 today. And Cameron and I spent some wonderful time over at Kangaroo Jack's, which I've never been to.
Yeah.
And there's this, the thing is, you go there are a lot of really small kids. You got to make sure you don't take a step back or a step forward.
I was so careful to walk.
Yeah,
I
because
was just
these are,
looking around.
as they say, wee little children. And the wrong step would break said wee little children.
Yes, when they're all below your knee, it's just kind of
proud of Silver, though. She climbed up something really high and slid down, but then there was a dark tunnel slide. She said, nope. And I respect that because I would have.
Her face, like she popped her face out and she looked like she had seen an
Yeah,
unspeakable
she looked in there.
after.
It was dark in that tube slide. And she said, nah, that's not me. And I don't blame her. I don't blame her.
It's like, nope.
All right. So
also in the slide when she was trying to stop herself.
Yeah. The first time she went down the long slide, she tried to use physics to slow herself down by putting her hands out to the side.
She couldn't quite stretch
which
far
is very
enough.
smart because she's very smart. But no, what happened was she hit one hand and then the other hand, it caused it to stagger.
Yeah.
Instead of being able to hit both at the same time. If she had did that, she'd have been able to do that. All right. So Cameron and I last hour had what we call around here a semantics argument. A semantics argument is something that Chris and I, Chris Evans, former co-host of this show, also had these with Zach. I've had these with Patrick. I've had these with T2. There's a certain kind of humor, and we have labeled it semantic humor because we have no other idea what it's actually called, or even if it is labeled. A lot of John Cusack movies have them. There's certain movies where in the middle of something, they all break down and just have an argument over an observation about what it should be. It's almost like breaking the fourth wall in a way.
It is, but people do it for real all the time. I mean, I do it with my friends all the time too.
Yeah, we especially do that. So,
and giving an example, during D&D at one point, someone just walked outside, popped back in. I was like, man, it just smells cold outside. We just kept saying that the entire time, like it was a recurring joke.
Well, you can smell cold. You absolutely
can.
Yeah.
It's just a fun sentence to say.
Oh, it is. It's a weird thing to say. So speaking of those semantic arguments, and we were just talking about someone, I think it was Chris on the Facebook page. By the way, you want to be a part of the show, text line 71307. Also, we are live on Facebook at 1063 WORD and the Upstate Pulse. We're also live on YouTube and at Twitch the Twitch. And that's the Twitch right there if you're watching.
At least you didn't say the Twitcher.
Yeah, I was also
That's a different thing
I was also
altogether.
twitching my hips, but you can't see that.
Do they lie?
No, they never lie. So you can check us out there. Also, we were someone asked, I believe it was Chris, when we're going to have Tara on again, and Tara's been on probably usually it was like once a year or so. We were talking about Stranger Things, and Tara and I watched some of the same things. And she's always good when she's on with us, but she likes to come in studio. So we haven't been able to do that because we've had a full studio. And I don't want to kick someone out of a chair, which I could do. Even to the point where we've had 5 on and Matthew has been in the news booth, which is where he normally is anyway. And Cameron's actually had to be in there also.
The happy penalty box at that point.
It's I don't want to say it's an embarrassment of riches. It's just an embarrassment, but we do our best. So
I like the first one better.
yeah, we were talking about semantic arguments. So a long time ago, not in a galaxy far, far away, might as well have been. I asked Charlie James to come on the show. He was going to come on. Something happened. Couldn't get him on. I didn't tell him till like a day before because I procrastinated because I hate to let someone down. And now I've been embarrassed about it for a year or so and want to have him back on, period. And T2 has been my liaison. He's been my intermediary. he's been discussing things, negotiating, and Charlie will come on if I would just ask him, and I still haven't done it yet. And because
You're frustrating. I want you to know that.
no, I gotta say, and you guys can tell him I said this. I'm intimidated by Charlie James. I'm intimidated by Charlie James. Not for the reason why you guys think, because Charlie James is very, very talented in ways you guys have no idea. His voiceover stuff is amazing. He can do Hank Hill like no one I've ever heard in my entire life. He went into Hank Hill when we were in here talking one day. It's just like, oh, that was so good. It was. And he's been in actual movies, including a movie that he just did like last year with Mira Sorvino and Richard Dreyfuss. I mean, it was in a movie. So I'm a little intimidated by Charlie James.
Here's what we need to do. We need to do another song with him in here.
We do. All right. Text line really quick. Let's see. Upstate Pulse, hither and thither phrase of hither is archaic. I think it's archaic. It's split up a little bit. Archaic literary in various directions, especially in a disorganized way. The entire household ran hither and thither. Yeah, exactly. That's us on the show. We run hither and thither.
No, because hither and thither is here and there.
Yeah, and let's see. Text says like being heathen with yeah, and they say Alonzo, which is hilarious. And then Texter says London. So what you're saying is your granddaughter bounced off the sides of the slide, right? That's Jim and Easley. And then he says, by the way, I'm sorry about the voice to text London. Yeah. If you voice to text London, I mean Lonzo, it ends up London. I don't get it. By the way, I found something else because we're just running off wherever we want to because we have no we have no substance here. So I was trying to tell someone voice to text that I had to go to the potty. And the problem is she kept saying I said party. And I don't know if it's because I'm using an Irish voice on my
oh yes, he's wanted to go to the party.
Yeah, and so she thinks when I say potty, I'm saying party. And I can't I thought it was hilarious. So anyway, Charlie, so speaking of semantic arguments, Chris and I were having a semantic argument in the hallway, which got a little bit loud because Chris is extremely loud. And in order to get your point across, even though you're not fighting, you have to match the DBs. You got to do that because if you don't, he wins. At least in his mind, he wins. Zach can back me up on this. We had to get the weapons of correction for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And we broke him of it for a while. We did. We broke him for a while. And I still have him in the hallway. I may have to break him out. And if I do, then someone really will be worried that there's a fight in the hallway. So we were so loud. Apparently it was heard in here during Charlie's show because Charlie was in here. And to the point where T2 texted me and asked if I heard the fight in the hall, knowing good and well that Charlie knew what it was. So
knowing good and well that you were the fight in the hall.
So Chris and I were having this back and forth and smiling the entire time. And even as each of us like went down the hall, so we will raise our level. So it's just like you were standing across from each other. And then we were standing across from each other. And Matthew was going to do the news. He was laughing his butt off to standing there watching. But Charlie came out and he started to walk around the corner and he saw it and he backed up and he was listening. And then he came out because he really had to go to the bathroom and went in between us. And so Tim texted me thinking that we were fighting. I think Charlie was concerned for me. I think Charlie was going to take up for me because Charlie's cool.
That's like exactly what he was going to do.
That's what I believe. I believe that Charlie was going to take up for me, but it wasn't necessary. And there was a time when
especially for a man who won't let him on a show.
And as I pointed out, that's not it. I'm just intimidated. As I pointed out, there used to be a time on this show when Chris was here, when Patrick was here, when Zach was here, that this room was extremely loud.
Yep.
It was really, really loud.
It was just nothing but yelling.
It was. Chris says Charlie needs to know he would be coming into Lonzo's show. It's not like that. It's not like that. It's absolutely not like that. It's not on his. This is me. This is me embarrassed that I asked him to come on the show and then I had to cancel. And I can't get past it's my extreme shyness, it's my social anxiety.
Your aloofness.
That's the technical term. Zach says I was told to calm down many times. Yes, you were.
I was advised to calm down from my supervisor.
Patrick was talked under the console a couple of times. I have pictures to prove it. Absolutely have pictures to prove it. So here's another step up for Charlie, by the way. Charlie the other day, when he came up, I think it was that same day, he's like, how you doing? I was like, yeah, I'm just kind of sleepy because I've been getting up and doing cardio every morning, been getting up around 5:45 and doing cardio before I come to work. And it's been hitting me a little bit more because I'm old and so I'm a little bit tired. And also when I'm in the office of Nerditude, there are no windows. Sometimes I get up and walk around and stuff. And he saw me. I was like, I'm a little bit tired. So Charlie brought me cake, which doesn't help with the cardio.
No,
but Charlie brought me cake, and it was his first time because he and his wife had done a photo shoot with cake, and the cake come on a killer doily. I threw the doily away. Do you keep a doily if it's on cake? I don't know.
No, doilies
if you
don't
don't
need to be
if you don't have
away.
matching doilies, I mean, so you got a singular doily, it just doesn't work. It doesn't. So Charlie brought
So
me.
what you're saying is a doily needs a pair?
Yes, or it's lonely. So Charlie brought me some cake, and it was his first time in the office. So I was like, go ahead, look around. So he's looking around, and I could see some of the stuff he knew, but he immediately fixated on the TARDIS. And so we had a long discussion about Doctor Who and who our favorite Doctor Who's were and a bunch of stuff like that. So it's just another connection that he's into the same stuff. I'm still, it's going to happen someday. Today would have been a good day for it. It would.
This is one of those famous teases that just goes
But-
on and on.
But Charlie also wants to come and hang out with us, like go get some food and stuff. And then I feel like here's what it is. I think Charlie's got a lot of class and I don't, and I feel like, can I dress up and look good? Yes, I can. I have pictures to prove it. Award-winning pictures. I say it's an award-winning picture because in the picture I won an award.
But deep down,
That
you're
makes
still
it a what?
Southside Columbus.
Thank you. I'm still street, yo. And whether you guys believe it, even when my turrets go off, I am still street, yo. And I'm a little intimidated by it. I am. I'm going to have him on eventually, though. Really, I will. Here's what's going to happen. Tim's just going to invite him on. He's just going to come in.
That's what you're waiting on. That's what you want.
Well,
You don't want to have to do it. You just want them to do it for you.
Yeah, maybe.
I know how this game is played.
Maybe. Yeah, but Tim doesn't catch on sometimes because he's just too
Yeah.
bro. All right, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, we are going to we'll talk about something. You're listening to the Upstate Pulse right here on 106.3 WRD, continuing live on the 106.3 and Upstate Pulse Facebook pages, as well as the Upstate Pulse YouTube and Twitch page, where there's lots of substance.
Watching John Wick 3, and just the line goes through my head of, I never knew that man had the talent to swallow swords. Last thing he ever did.
So my wife is telling me I need to get over it and just ask him. See, I'm worried that if I do, then something will happen and I'll have to cancel again. And then that's it. That's it.
Then it becomes a recurring joke.
Yeah, well, no. For me, it does. Not for him.
Also, don't mind me flexing for the camera. My baby muscles at the moment. Have we hit really anything on the... I don't think we've hit one topic yet.
Yeah, we did. We talked SummerSlam.
We did. And I think that was about it.
And we did the Lacey interview, which is also on the list. Dude.
Maybe I'm forgetting what's on the list.
Probably. I've got my outline, and the outline is a loose thing. It's not.
It's more like a guideline,
Exactly.
much like a moral code or ethics or the Geneva Convention. I want to get back into. Can't wait for August when we start that back up.
Zach, we're going to do that in the roundtable, dude. I said
It's
I was going
coming.
to do it. I'm not going to do that tease thing that I do. We're going to talk about it. We absolutely are.
He would certainly.
We're probably not
never-
doing it next, but we're going to talk about it.
It'll happen eventually. Pappy's not a very good enforcer because all that ends up happening is just mass destruction. I'm not so great at the whole protecting stuff. I'm more just like go in a direction and wreck everything I see.
Breaking stuff's more fun.
It is.
It's,
Especially with bamboo sticks.
yeah, for sure. I can't wait to read that text. I'm tired, man. I'm tired. I don't want to be tired. I got to go home and watch SummerSlam. I'm not going to watch it tomorrow. I want to watch it tonight.
I don't understand that
Okay, Zach,
reference.
you're right. Chris says you're the Arn Anderson for me. I got to tell you, I got to interview Arn Anderson. What a great interview that was. That was a great interview.
Didn't he pass away?
No.
Or was that somebody else?
No. He was just at Comic-Con, dude.
Oh, was he?
And just interviewed him. Don't you dare speak that into existence.
I'm not speaking that into existence.
He talked about how some grannies actually broke canes over his back in the day, and how being a heel is much better than being a face.
Well, obviously. It's a lot more fun to be
It's not
bad.
obvious.
Yeah, it is.
Welcome back into the Upstate Pulse. Lonzo. Chris.
Really?
I went. Chris is on the Facebook page. Not that Chris. There's a Chris on the Facebook page. So there. I cover my booty because that's what I do.
Let's start playing some sad piano music for you. I thought we were about to go into a musical number.
No, I was just laughing about Zach saying you need a
spine buster?
spine buster.
Zach, would you like to supply that if you could lift me?
Hey, Zach has been trained in hand-to-hand combat. He probably also still has a taser. So if I were you, I would you be bad mouthing the angry one. Because he can take care of that problem for you. He absolutely can. Texter says, yo. And I just want to say, yo. I was really looking forward to answering that text.
I was wondering what it was. I wonder what well thought out thing this is. And
I was very excited about answering that text. That was so cool. All right. We very rarely, and we're not going to get into the reasons why, because we stay away from politics, but because of some obvious things, there are starting to be, we know that prices are higher as far as gas and food goes. And there's also starting to be some shortages. And because of that, and I'm not saying that you need to jump out there and go buy this stuff right away, but maybe you should. This year's trick-or-treating haul might be a little light. I know you're getting worried now, and you should be. You absolutely should be. Hershey, the dudes that make chocolate and candy and stuff, is warning consumers that a candy shortage could be looming this Halloween due to supply chain issues and a shortage of ingredients like cocoa Thank you, Brandon. While Hershey typically begins producing Halloween candy in the spring, a spokesperson says the company has been focused on keeping store shelves stocked in the short term. Hershey products go far beyond the classic Hershey bar or Hershey's Kiss. The company also makes Reese's peanut butter cups, Kit Kats, Twizzlers, Jolly Ranchers, and many more popular candies. See, that's how you know the things.
So what you're saying is life really isn't worth living at this point.
If you are a fan of the candy, which a lot of us are fans of the candy.
It just reminds me of that line from Futurama. I don't want to live on this planet anymore. That was the sound of frustration, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it will be followed up by another noob, more than likely.
At least I'm consistent, and I said I would be doing this to myself, so maybe I did it on purpose.
That was a killer stomp, by the way. That was like you're about to sumo wrestle a guy. Which I think is yourself at this point, but
that's those things that when I do something like that, I get an email from people downstairs going, "Hey, don't do that." but they ain't here right now. They ain't here right now. So anyway, I apologize to the listeners for making that mistake. And I love my new headphones because if you say stomp on the ground and your headphone wire just happens to be underneath it, hypothetically, my new headphones, the wire comes out.
Oh,
which it just did.
Yeah, so that way you don't wreck your headphones.
So again, defending myself to a certain degree, I am doing everything. But you shouldn't make the same mistake twice, or like every time you do it yourself, which I seem to be doing. So anyway,
what were we talking about?
I think we were talking about this.
Shall we play a game?
Oh.
I think I missed him.
Yeah, weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Love to. How about global thermonuclear war?
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
You wanted to know what the Matrix is, Neo?
This isn't real.
What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain.
3 billion human lives ended. The survivors of the nuclear fire called the war Judgment Day. They lived only to face a new nightmare, the war against the machines.
All right, since I'm already angry because I made a mistake,
let's just roll over
why not just go ahead and get even more angry? Because you people, and you know who you people are. Some of the you people are not here tonight. The deniers, like T2, like Rob Brown, the deniers that AI may someday take over. Well, it's just numbers put in. There's no way they could do that. AIs cannot become sentient. Okay, whatever. You go ahead. When the robot overlords are, making you do manual labor, you go, why didn't I listen to Lonzo? Why didn't I prepare? And I'm going to be there also doing manual labor going, see? And then I'm going to get smacked by the robot overlord. Speaking of getting smacked by the robot overlord, a chess-playing robot is in trouble, sort of. Well, the robot's not in trouble, but it's being blamed for doing something to a kid. All right, officials say a 7-year-old moved too quickly in a violation of safety regulations, and a robot grabbed him. So what it is, they had a bunch of kids playing chess against a robot, because that's what you do when you're working on AI, to show that the AI is getting smarter.
Where this is too, because I feel like that adds an extra layer.
It took several spectators to dislodge the child's finger from the robot. So the robot, so you're playing chess, the kid's like, oh, it's my turn now, and it wasn't, and the robot grabbed the kid's finger. The kid is 7 years old and has a robot holding on to his finger. This happened in Moscow, by the way. The Moscow Chess Federation explained the robot broke the child's finger. This, of course, is bad. Really? Okay.
We must specify it is bad for a robot to break
this,
finger.
Of course, is bad. The robot was rented by us.
I love the fact that they deflect by just going, "We merely rented the robot
It,
from Crazy Yuri down the street."
it has been exhibited in many places for a long time with specialists. Apparently, the operators overlooked it. The child made a move, and after that, we need to give time for the robot to answer. But the boy hurried. The robot grabbed him. We have nothing to do with the robot. We have nothing to do with the robot.
The robot.
It wasn't us.
It
It
was
was
a
the
rental.
robot.
It was a
It
rental.
was a robot. We rented the robot. It was not us. We did not do this.
The boy learned a very, very special lesson in patience.
Yes. You know what he learned? Be careful because the robots will get you. The child is reportedly one of the 30 top chess players under 9 years old in Moscow. So all you people, well, robots aren't violent. They just do what they're programmed to do. Hey, I don't know if you guys have played chess before. Well, this audience, everybody's probably played chess.
We have a very intellectually, higher up and solid high tier.
Yeah. So
demo.
I played chess in college. That's where I learned how to play. Actually, I got taught from a guy here from Japan. His name was Kazi. Taught me how to play chess. Played with him a bunch. Used to play my Uncle Millis all the time. I don't think I ever beat him. And it was hard to beat him at anything, but he cheated a lot. But he was good at cheating.
You aren't cheating. You aren't trying.
He was also really good at not cheating, but when he cheated, he was pretty good. The only time I ever got thrown out of his yard when he was cheating at croquet, and I caught him and I called him out on it. And he told me to leave his yard. And then I'm leaving his yard. He starts laughing and tells me to come back because he wanted to see if I would stick to it. And I did. And he just laughed and just brought me back. Because I believed in my conviction so much, and because I wanted to win so bad that I was willing to point out the obvious that everybody else. My papa used to cheat all the time too, and no one would say anything to him. That bothers me. Someone cheats right in front. I don't care who you are. If I was playing against LexCorp and he was cheating, I'm gonna be like, man, you cheating. I may lose my job, but he's cheating.
So I know whenever I lose to you in like the yard games and stuff, I know you're being honest.
Oh yeah,
you hate cheaters.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm not. And the other thing is, I am never going to let my kids win at anything.
Nope.
What's that teach you?
Well,
and eventually they beat me, and I stopped playing.
Yep. All that high intensity training and all these games and stuff. You made me what I am.
All right, Mark says, lesson learned: never ask a robot to pull your finger.
Oh.
He says, sorry, I couldn't resist. I'll show myself out. Exactly. So, and Zach also says, Upstate Pulse with special guest Gru. Some people don't watch that show, but, I was actually, I think, going Doofenshmirtz, and I think Cameron was also.
Yeah.
It's always a variation of Doofenshmirtz because, where's Perry? I don't know. Where is Perry?
Perry the platypus. What are you doing here?
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, the robot broke the kid's finger. They had took probably several comrades, from what I could tell, to dislodge.
How many comrades do we take to unbreak this child's finger?
So you go ahead and you trust the computers. You go ahead and trust them. They're listening. They're watching. They're learning. Someday, and it'll be too late. You'll realize that I knew what I was talking about.
In binary, they just see that felt good. It's like, oh, this is a problem.
You listen to the Upstate Pulse. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Nerd Roundtable. And we're finally going to talk about all that stuff that Zach's been asking if we're going to talk about. This is the Upstate Pulse right here on 106.3 W. Oh, our texter says Othello Alonso. Yeah, that's a guy who,
Othello Alonso?
Yeah, he sells boiled peanuts in downtown Greenville. I've seen that dude before.
I have not read nor witnessed Othello before.
Othello is a Shakespeare book.
I know. Personally, I'm a big fan of Hamlet.
All right, since it's Shakespeare, it's probably Chris texting. That Chris. Zach says Russia has let their kids get soft. Ivan Drago would have destroyed that robot. It's funny you should say that. They're getting ready to do a Drago spinoff. With Drago and his kid.
I've never seen the Creed movies. I really should watch them.
I've seen the first one and part of the second one.
misspeaks, when he gets things wrong, and so forth. When you're president of the United States,
Nerd Roundtable, don't I?
that your speech is so powerful, you can create a whole lot of pain and suffering when you say things improperly or incorrectly. Things you don't really need to say, but you say them anyway.
You know, you don't run a show for a while, and then the people who do rearrange the hotkeys, and then have to try to figure. No, I don't. But I encourage it. I mean, make it, if you're running it, make it as comfortable as possible for you. But then it's not how I do it. So I'm like, okay, where is that? I can't find it, and then I found it.
That's just working smarter, not harder. Something I've been told a lot.
Also, I wish that, you know, when I'm told things by management, it always works its way into what I'm talking about. And the criticism becomes a joke, and that's going to hurt me eventually.
I don't think it will.
I remember downstairs, the old sales manager said something to me that ticked me off. And not only did I write a liner about it, it became a part of Friday nights because
I remember
because it was him that made it to where
being abrasive.
Zach and I, yes, it was being abrasive. I forgot what it was.
Yes, it was being abrasive.
That I was being abrasive. That's me. I'm abrasive.
That I made a joke on a similar matter at my job because we were told that we have a quote unquote college dorm room style of offices and cube setups.
It's Tommy Gunn, by the way, Zach.
And someone was asking me about my new sketchboard. I said, well, I took what my boss said to heart, so I doubled down. It's nothing but graffiti on it.
You know, Zach, something that hasn't been uttered on the air in a long time is Moonslayer.
I wonder if he just looked at the moon.
Time to hit the Nerd Roundtable. By the way, really quick, on the Facebook Live feed, Chris says Moonslayer or Sailor Moon. No, Moonslayer and Sailor Moon, not the same thing. Trust me, Moonslayer was a guy named Dave decided to call himself Moonslayer on the Friday Night Rap. It was nostalgic. I miss Dave to this day.
Wild times, you know.
I miss a lot of people, but I don't know why I miss Dave so much. He was only here for like a year. That dude had a lasting impact. The only people who know who Dave is me and Cameron and Zach. But still, I miss Dave. All right, so we're in the roundtable. Let's talk about some things. First of all, let us talk about Wakanda Forever trailer.
Yeah.
Wow, that was rough. It really was. It was well done, especially T'Challa's mom talking about how much she had lost. And it was rough. It really was. I think Namor looks like he's really well done. From what I understand, he's not going to be from Atlantis. They called it something else. I forget what it was. Probably a good move because they don't want to be compared with DC, even though Atlantis really actually existed. At least I believe it did. So it was really good. And then at the end, the last thing they show is Black Panther. And now the question is going on all of the internets, who is going to be Black Panther? It's going to be Shuri.
Yeah, it's obviously Shuri.
Well, it's not obvious. I mean, you can't look at it and go, okay, that's Shuri's shape. That's kind of.
I'm pretty sure it was a female.
And the other thing is trailers lie.
They do.
Because they've learned to lie in trailers. They've learned to troll in trailers. There are a lot of things that show up in trailers now that don't show up in a movie, unless, of course, it's Professor Xavier. Let's go ahead and let everyone know that that's going to happen.
Yeah, I
Thank
really
you.
wish that they hadn't done that.
All right. let's see. MCU has announced Phase 5 and Phase 6. Kang's going to be the big bad, but we already knew that from Loki,
Yeah.
that he's going to be the big bad. And there's going to be 2 Avengers movies, but they're not going to be like till I think it was 2026.
Yeah, they're way down.
So we've got a while before we get to see those. Zach says, I hope it's Shuri. I hope it's Shuri too. I really do. Shuri is awesome. We're going to see a lot of quantum stuff, starting with Ant-Man and Quantumania. We're going to see Kang show up on probably every show, which he warned in Loki that there are many different versions of him, and they're going to show up all over the place.
See, and the thing is with him as compared to Thanos, I knew, for me personally, I knew a lot more about Thanos just because he was a lot more prevalent in all sorts of other mediums and stuff, including that one Marvel versus Capcom game where you have to fight him and he's just kicking the crap out of you. So I figured Thanos was going to be a problem. I don't know what Kang does. I know he manipulates time and all that, but I don't know if it'll be different for the MCU.
Well, I guess we'll find out. I guess we will,
because he is one of the bigger bads in the entire Marvel universe.
He for sure is. We also found out that this will be the last Guardians. How many of the Guardians you think die?
All of them.
You think they all die?
They all just die. Rocket's the only one who makes it.
I guarantee you Drax dies because Batista says he doesn't want to play it anymore. And let's face it, you can't recast that.
No,
you absolutely can't.
Drax more than likely will die. Maybe Nebula.
I don't know, man. Nebula's a survivor.
Yes, she is.
You don't go through all that, and yeah. And Zach says, or Rocket and Groot won't die. I don't think Rocket and Groot will die.
I don't know. Maybe Star-Lord retires after he finds Gamora.
Or he's heartbroken and they both die. She's already died once.
Yeah.
She could die again.
Oh God, don't do that.
Or she just decides she's a Ravager and she's going to stay a Ravager and that's it. I mean, I guess we got to wait and find out. Now the plot is about dealing with the guy who created Rocket. And that's what this whole story is going to be about, Rocket. And I'm looking forward to that.
And from what they're saying, it's going to be a lot more of a mature tone and all that stuff.
Yeah,
so it's going to be a darker story.
And it's going to be sad. There's a reason why when they all watched the trailer for the first time, and then they came out on stage for San Diego Comic-Con, they were all crying.
Yes. Not a great sign for how it's going to end up.
Yeah, it's not.
It's a good sign, but a bad sign. You know what I mean? It's going to be going to be an emotional ride more than likely.
All right, Zach, I'm going to correct you on this. Zach says, and the Nebula actress doesn't seem to do much outside of that role other than Jumanji, so maybe she wants to stay. All right, Zach, and I get it, man. You're not a Whovian, so you don't know. It's Amy Pond.
That is Amy Pond.
She is very famous. She was famous before she took that role for anyone who watches Doctor Who. And you don't watch, hey, we're not all into the same stuff, but she next to Billie Piper is the best companion of all times. And for some people, she was the best companion for Doctor Who. But I'm gonna go with Billie Piper as number one.
I think
Rose Tyler, I think was her last name. Rose Tyler, best companion, but Amy Pond's next. And
in my opinion, Amy's my favorite, but of course Matt Smith is my favorite Doctor. So
yeah, and when Amy had to go back in time for her husband and stay there because of stinking weeping angels, man. Don't blink. Do not blink.
That's the other thing is I'm a sucker for a good love story, a tragic love story. But hey, they still got to live the rest of their lives out.
Nah, you're just still remembering her in the fake cop outfit when you first see her as an adult.
Don't call me out.
It's okay. It's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. All right. Speaking of Doctor Who, sad news. He Who Knocks has passed on, and his name is Bernard. I'm trying to find my stuff.
Bernard Cribbins, I believe.
Bernard Cribbins, you're right. Dies at the age of 93. Here's the thing, though. 93, man. That's good. That's a long life.
That is a very long.
That really is. And but because of his character, David Tennant was no longer Doctor Who.
Yep.
And it's like, Why did it have to be you?
Yeah, that whole thing. I love that whole just speech the entire time, and then God, I forget what the character's name was, but Donna's father just goes, "You can leave me." He's like, "That's fine. I've lived a long life. You're good." It's just like, you don't have to do this. It's like calm as can be when he's about to, die terribly. But anyway, he was a very good part of that. And the fact that it was such a likable guy, such a likable character stuck in that situation has made it all the worse.
Speaking of Doctor Who, the old writer is back, and there's about to be a new Doctor Who, and looking forward to that. And going to be a dude again. When they made the Doctor a female, I didn't care that much as long as the writing was good. Here's the problem: it was not.
The writing was terrible.
Yeah, we tried. We really tried, but the writing was not good.
For another to show an example of good writing with the whole sex change thing, with like using like Missy. Missy was a great turn for the Master.
Yeah, for sure.
Missy was fantastic.
She was. The actress really good. Oh man, I forget her name. She's also in
I think her name is Michelle Gomez.
Yes, Michelle Gomez, who's also in I hate with the robot and the one show that
more words, please.
That we stopped watching, and it also had the girl with the multiple personalities and
Doom Patrol.
Doom Patrol. I it's the end of the show, and it's just things are leaving me as I'm trying to get way too much into here. All right, real quick.
We got 12 minutes. Finish strong.
Yes, I know. Why do that? We never do that ever. So, there's a funny thing that happened to well, it's not funny. All right, it's a different thing. All right, Stranger Things. Stranger Things. Because this is how I would do. I'm trying to get so many things in here. All right, Stranger Things star Joseph Quinn finally meets Metallica. You need to check this out. So Eddie finally meets Metallica. And they said, "Do you want to jam?" And he's like, "Yeah." So they go backstage they're doing a sound check thing, and he plays Master of Puppets with them. Oh. And then Lars says, "We are now a 5-piece band." Then they pull out the guitar that he played in Stranger Things, and they sign it for him.
Holy crap, that is awesome.
And they told him anytime he wants to come to a concert, he's always welcome. And in the middle of Lollapalooza, up on the big screen, there's Eddie up there when they're playing Master of Puppets.
Oh, that is awesome.
When it comes down to this, it wasn't like this was, pirated or anything. They knew about this. They approved it. They were in on it. And it's such a sensation. And then some people slammed it, saying people who are watching Netflix and are now Metallica fans are not real Metallica fans. And Metallica's like, no, there's always room in the Metallica family.
I hate gatekeepers.
Yeah. I mean, come on, dude.
Have fun. Live your life. Don't let people block you from the things you want to do.
All right.
We're illegal.
We're going to take our final break. Coming back with Lightning Round. You listen to the Upstate Pulse right here on 106.3 WORD.
You're fine.
No. I know. What you mean to say is I'm fine. You're fine. I am fine. Mark says David Tennant was his favorite Doctor, but Tom Baker's a goat. Yeah, Tom Baker. I was watching. Oh yeah, we were watching Dungeons and Dragons, the old movie, because Rob didn't know it existed in the office. Because I got stuff in there where we could watch that. It's we're technologically savvy. We watched it on a 360. Yeah. But we were watching it, and Tom Baker's in there. I'm like, that looks like Tom Baker, and I forgot that he was in there. But yeah, Tom Baker's who I watched as a child in the 70s because I'm old. So
that was the Doctor with the scarf, right?
Yes. And but David Tennant, still my favorite Doctor. Matt Smith grew on me. But yeah, David Tennant's still my favorite Doctor.
I think it's one of those things of you relate more to the David Tennant Doctor, and I probably relate more to the Matt Smith Doctor.
Why would I relate more to David Tennant?
I don't know.
See, you're talking about love stories. David Tennant Doctor and Rose, that was a tragic one. Although his clone type thing ended up with her on that. Yeah. I also loved Martha. I thought Martha was great.
Oh yeah. The only companion.
And when they all came back, when all the companions were coming back and helping, that was really, really good too.
One thing I'll say about Martha was the smartest companion ever, because she knew when to stop.
Yeah, she's like,
And
no, I'm done.
She also knew that he didn't love her, and she had feelings for him, so she broke that off and did what was best for her.
Yeah, Mark, that is a D&D with Marlon Wayans. And
Poor Marlon Wayans.
Four snails. Because I'm saying the new Dungeons and Dragons, I think it's just going to basically be the same thing. I mean, down to the fact that Chris Pine has the same haircut as Justin Whalen.
Chris Pine has the same haircut and everything, except for in real life. He
No. He had a different haircut in Star Trek.
What, slightly shorter?
No, and this he's got the hang. Have you seen his hair lately? Look up his hair now. His hair is long.
Does he have the long hair?
Oh, he's got long hair now. Yeah, he does.
Well, no. I was talking about that.
Not in the show, but in real life. I don't know if he's doing
That's
another
what I
role
was
or not.
saying.
No, he's got the Rob Brown hair.
Where are you?
No, he's got. I don't know how to describe it. Look at my hair. It's beautiful and it's long and it's luxurious. It's not like this.
You know what? I think you're actually right. I think I've we need to finish this thing.
I misremembered it because
I misremembered that totally.
Yeah.
I'm just some quirked up pappy not knowing what he's doing. I hope I know what that phrase actually.
Yeah, I don't know if I've seen that or not, Zach. I probably did though.
Lightning can only strike twice so many times.
All right, time for lightning round where I squeeze as many things as I possibly can into the last segment of the show. First of all, text her at 71307. Hey, Lonzo, I missed you here lately on the end of the Vince Coakley show. What's up with that? Here's what happened when what used to be ESPN Upstate changed to The Fan, 97.1 The Fan. I used to be on a show on the station from noon to 3. They moved that show to 9 to noon. And because of that, where I am labeled as producer, I am producer / co-host on that show. And so there's no way that I can get over here and do the last segment of Vince's show when I have the last segment to do on that show where I'm a co-host. So I actually talked to Vince like a couple of days ago, I think it was. And he was saying how many texts and comments he gets about people missing me on that show. And I miss being on that show. I do. And let's face it, I'm better than anybody else who's answering those questions. So all the people who thought Lonzo cheats, I never cheated, but I can tell you what, and this is with all confidence, I am better than my replacements because I got a lot of trivia up in my head. Not a whole lot of other stuff, but I got a lot of trivia up in there. And
your mind palace is just
and even Mark says, Mark on the I got it, my bad. Mark says Lonzo best at answering those trivia questions. Yes. And again, I wouldn't look those up and ever. I would never look those up. I don't know why the music stopped. Probably because I turned it down. I would never look those up because that was cheating. And if someone was in the room with me and gave me the answer, I would recuse myself from answering those questions because I want to win.
Yeah.
And I don't want to cheat to get there. I want to beat the house. And I did sometimes. All right. Somebody else says the same thing that they miss me. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And even though you don't hear me on Word as much, I'm still here. A lot of the programming you hear on the weekend, I do that. A lot of the promos that are put together on that show up all over the station, I do all that. not tooting my own horn rather. And I don't know what a horn is, but I would toot that too probably.
You wouldn't want to.
Yeah. I am an award-winning producer, whatever that means. So I'm pretty good at doing all that stuff. So I'm still here. Unfortunately, I can't be on Vince's show. I wish I could be, but I'm on another show, and we have 7 radio stations in this building, and I have been and am still a big part of our sports station. Had the pleasure and the honor and all that kind of stuff of getting to help start that station. And I'm the only one of the original left there. Just like I've been here for 22 and a half years, and no one's been at Word longer than me. What's that mean? Does that mean I have no ambition? I got plenty of ambition. I just love it here. This is my house. As I tell people all the time, hey, man, this is my house because it is my house.
How does it feel to be an institution?
I don't know, but I'll tell you what happens when I'm institutionalized, because you probably have something to do with that. And when you do that, please make sure that they give me the chocolate pudding on Thursdays at least.
I'll make sure about that.
Okay, because I like chocolate pudding, and make sure my bib is a comic book character bib. I prefer Nightwing, if you could.
I'll make sure I have several variants ready for you.
There we go. All right, this is weird. Well, how much time do I have? Not a lot of time. Batfleck is back according to Jason Momoa. And I don't know if it's real or not, man. I think it's a work. I really do.
Because Momoa could just be playing us.
I think it's a work. Momoa would do something like that. But according to Momoa,
I just want to hear, my man.
Ben Affleck, even though they took that out of the Snyderverse, that was never it. That was.
I did like that little line.
I kind of did too.
Yeah.
So, according to Jason Momoa, Affleck is back as Batman in Aquaman 2. We don't know how long he'll actually be there, but he's supposed to be there in Aquaman 2. So we'll see if that's true or not when it comes out. We absolutely will see if that's true. All right, we are out of time for the night, and I want to thank everybody for being a part of the show, especially in the text line. And you guys are great on the stream. And I want to thank Cameron again for being there for his dear old dad and helping us out. It ain't like he ain't having fun. And I want everyone to have a good weekend. And also watch the weather. Be careful out there. Splash in puddles if you can. Play and have fun. Cameron and I are going hither, thither,
and yon.
And yon.
So because I have control of the broadcast now, wave goodbye to Facebook, Dad.
Bye-bye, Facebook.
No, more. Do more. A little bit more.
Oh, yeah, because you're going to...
Yeah.
You didn't say goodbye. Goodbye, Facebook.
Oh, yes. Goodbye, Facebook.
Thanks, everybody.
See ya.